Good afternoon, sirs and madams. Now you will see a session on virtual lab, that is training session of virtual lab. Now, what is this virtual lab actually? Now we have physical lab in our department or in our college. We have physical labs. That is, say for example, electrical machines lab we have. In electrical machines lab we have a set of experiments. We'll do all those set of experiments. That is known as physical lab. Now, what is this virtual lab? Now, all these labs, say for example, electrical machines lab, or power system simulation lab, or power electronics lab, or microcontroller and microprocessor lab, all these labs are available in online platform. All these labs are available in online platform in form of simulation. That is why it is known as virtual lab. Now, who has developed this virtual lab? Now, some IITs and NITs in collaboration have developed this virtual lab. This virtual lab can also be called as VLab or virtual laboratory, developed by IITs and NITs and some private institutions and government institutions, state institutions. Now, who has sponsored this? Now, for developing any lab, it may be an online lab, but for all those simulation, workflows, time, etc., and purchasing tools, who has sponsored this virtual lab for developing this virtual lab? The Government of India has sponsored for developing this virtual lab. Now, why am I presenting about this virtual lab to you? Because I have attended a 5-day FDP on virtual lab that our department have recruited me for this FDP. I attended the FDP, I got the certificate. So now the next step in this is to train all the faculties in our department about this virtual lab. So that is the agenda by this virtual lab. I attended an FTP with the help of PALS. They have asked me to train all the faculties in our department. Now, this is done for other departments as well. Say, for example, in IT, CSE, etc. Even they are performing this type of training session on virtual lab, but for their own labs, not for our labs, for their own labs. Because each and every stream will have their own labs, right? So, it will be a quick session, a small session. I will try to fast up now about virtual lab. Now, what is this virtual lab actually? So, a virtual lab is a tool for online classes and laboratory. We need not use our virtual lab only for laboratory. Say, for example, we have machines lab. We need not use it only for performing laboratory experiments. We can also use these labs for classes, for our lectures. For our theory classes also, we can use this lab. That is what is it. So virtual lab, we are tool for online classes and laboratory. Now, who has sponsored this? The sponsor is Ministry of Human Resource Development. That is our Government of India, which comes under, it is a portfolio of our Government of India. So they have sponsored it. Now, what is the aim of this VLab or virtual lab? What is the aim of this VLab? To have remote access to laboratories, that too in online. These are simulations. Say, for example, during lockdown, we were not able to perform laboratories. We were able to perform classes, but we were not able to perform laboratories. But with help of VLabs, we can perform laboratories also during lockdowns. Say, if there is a lockdown, we can perform laboratory also with help of our VLab. So that is what is said as remote access to laboratories using online. So it is available for all the disciplines of engineering and sciences as well. Say, for example, it is available for CSE, ECE, EEE, mechanical, chemical, etc. For all the streams of engineering, this is available. Now, who can use this? The faculty can use this. The student can use this. The student from UG to PG level, even PhD scholars can use this. That is what is said. Then, various branches of engineering. So, the project intends to induct new labs for various branches. Even we can develop new labs. Even from our EEE department, we can, with help, we from our EEE department can gather some students, we can gather some faculty, and we can develop a lab. Say, for example, we can develop microprocessor controller lab, and we can induct into this VLab. But we should get approval from NIT, and we should get the final approval from IIT Delhi. So that is what is said. So everything, all the labs will be in simulation form. They will not be in physical form, they will be in physical form. Any person in this planet can use these labs. This is an open source. Say, for example, there is a student from China, or there is a student from Pakistan, or from Sri Lanka. Any student, anywhere, or any person, anywhere in this planet can use this VLab. It is open source, but the only requirement is that they should have a laptop or PC and an internet connection. That is the only requirement. It is open source. Anybody in this world can use this VLab. That is how our government of India has put this. Then, who has that is good? Now, the person who gave the money for developing all these labs is the government of India. That is fine. Now, who has developed all these labs? That is very important, right? So, some institutions, some colleges has developed these labs. Now, the colleges are all seven IITs have developed some labs. Say, for example, IIT Delhi has developed power electronics lab, and IIT Madras has developed microprocessor and controller lab. So each and every IIT has developed their own lab. So they have developed, that is all 7 IITs have developed some labs. Then IIT, NIT, Karnataka has developed few labs. Then IIIT Hyderabad has developed few labs. And Amita University at Coimbatore, even they have developed few labs. Then College of Engineering Pune, which is a state university, even they have developed few labs. So these are the institutes which have developed the labs, and it is available in the online forum. So that is known as participating institutes. Even we, SVCE, EEE can become a participating institution if we develop a lab and we index this lab into the VLab. But after getting permission from or approval from NIT, Karnataka, and the final approval will be given by IIT Delhi. That is about participating institutions. Hope you understand. So the money by Government of India, the people who have developed this is known as participating institutes. So all IITs, some 7 IITs, then 1 NIT, IIIT, then Amita University, then College of Engineering, they are the participating institute. But any college from India can become a participating institute after developing a lab and injecting the lab into the lab. That is fine. Now let us, that is brief about our virtual lab. Now let us get into this link and let us see how does this VLab look like, and let us perform some experiments. I will give some demos on certain experiments which are available in our VLab. Okay. So this is the website. That is Virtual Labs. This is the website, an initiative by Ministry of Human Resource Development. We have the homepage, news, etc., etc. All these things are available, and they have portrayed the objective. They have portrayed the objective of this VLab, and they have also portrayed the broad areas of VLab. So they have given the different streams: electronics and communication, then computer science and engineering. Now let us get into this electrical engineering by clicking on it. Now in electrical engineering, what are the different labs which are available? We have virtual laboratory for simulation and gaming, that is fine. Then we have high voltage lab, machines lab is available. We have industrial automation lab available. So all these labs are available in our electrical engineering stream. Now let me get into electrical machines lab. Now what is available in my electrical machines lab? So they are given the introduction about the lab. Welcome to electrical machines lab. And the objective of the lab they are given to understand the basic concept of electrical machines. Fine. They have also given the list of the experiments. So what are the list of the experiments which are available in this particular lab? And then who are the target audience? That is PG, UG. They are the target audience. Then course alignment. How is the course aligned? They are given the, so how this course is aligned with help of the syllabus from all these universities. From all these universities, they have collected the syllabus and they have formed this lab. Then feedback. You can, after using this lab, we can even give the feedback. We can share our experience. That is what is said. Now let me get to the list of experiment. In the list of experiment, let me get into the sixth experiment, which is determination of transformer equivalent circuit from open circuit and short circuit. It is determination of transformer transformer equivalent circuit from open circuit and short circuit test. But I will get into it. Now, there I can find the aim. What is the aim? Determination of transformer equivalent circuit from open circuit and short circuit. That is the aim. Now, theory. They have given the theory. In this platform itself, they have given the theory. What is the theory? They have given all the theory which is involved in this particular experiment. Fine. They also have a pre-test, that is a quiz before performing the experiment. So before performing the experiment, we should have some basic knowledge about the experiment. So they have made some quiz. They have made a quiz that is known as pre-test. So we can submit the test. After submitting the test, we can view the score. Then they are given the procedure to perform the experiment. So what is the procedure to perform the experiment? Then the interesting part is the simulation. So let me get into the simulation. Click here to go to the simulation page. I will click that. Now I have got into my simulation page. Now I should do the connection. As we do in the real world, we should do the connection. In our electrical machines 1 lab, we will perform this experiment equal circuit of transformer using open and short circuit test. Now in real time or in real world, we will do connections. So same connection can be done here using this simulation. Now how to do the connection? The instruction for connection is given here from step 1 to step 7. Now I will directly do the connection. That is, the first connection is from auto transformer to MCB. Then, so I have already marked the connection. I will directly do the connection. The connection is available here in the instruction part. Then I should connect my transformer to multimeter. I should connect the transformer to multimeter. Then the ammeter to M. Then C to L. Then B positive. Then right. Let me check the connection. I made some mistake. Let me check. No, sir?
MSCயை கனெக்ட் பண்ணிடுங்க சார்.
இல்ல சார். இல்ல சார்.
MSCயை ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணனும் சார். MSCயை ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடுங்க.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wait, sir. Wait, sir. Connections. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So if I made a mistake, I can click on the number. I can click on the node, it will get erased. So I should connect my B to P. Connect my B to P. Now let me check the connection. Wait a minute, I will redo the connection. Yes, and now the connection is right. Now after doing the connection, I should switch on the MCB. I should switch on my MCB. Now the MCB is on. Then I can adjust to my auto transformer. Now when I adjust my auto transformer, I can see the readings. So how to see the readings? So add to table. If I click on add to table, I can view the readings. Then I can go to my short circuit test. The next is the short circuit test. I can do my short circuit test. I will quickly do the connections for short circuit test. Now let me check the connection. So it says correct connection. So after making the correct connection, I can switch on the MCB. Now after switching on the MCB, I can adjust my auto transformer. So after adjusting the auto transformer, I can take my readings. So to take the readings, I have to click this add to table. So now I have got the readings. What is the power value? What is the current value? What is the voltage value? Now if I sum it, I will get the equivalent circuit of my transformer. So this is equivalent to our physical lab experiment. The only thing is we are doing this online. That is, we are doing the simulation. Now we did our open circuit test. We found out the readings. We did our short circuit test. We got the readings. And finally, we got our equivalent circuit or equivalent circuit diagram of our transformer. Then we can print this. The student can print this. So it is saved as PDF. It will be saved as PDF. We can open this and we can print this. So this is about our machines lab. So one experiment in our machines lab, which is available in virtual labs. Let me get back to the. Now, let me show you some more experiments. Two more experiments. Not particularly in electrical engineering. We can even use the laboratory which are in electronic and communication engineering because ours is electrical and electronics engineering. So some laboratories will be available in electronics and communication engineering. So let me go to electronics and communication engineering. So where it is available here, electronics and communication engineering. So let me get into my electronics and communication engineering, where I will get into this basic electronics lab developed by IIT Kharagpur. Now there, let me check the list of experiments. So they are given the list of experiments. In that, I am going to perform VI characteristics of a diode. Now here in VI characteristics of the diode, they are given the theory part, they are given the procedure, then quiz, assignment, references, etc. You can click on it, you will find the references. Then the assignment. Now let me directly get into the simulation part. simulation part of VA characteristics of a diode. Now here we have two options. That is, we can directly use the circuit which was already connected, or we can ourselves connect the circuit. We can ourselves form the circuit. Let me go for the second option. That is, I am going to draw the circuit for forward bias of my diode. So this is very simple. We will connect the ammeter. We have the diode. Then we have to connect this with the voltmeter. Then after doing the connection, very simple connection, after doing this very simple connection, let us check. Then we have to connect this 9 with ground. Let me check the connection. Correct connection. After doing the correct connection, I should select the diode. What diode you are going to use? So I will select the diode. After selecting my diode, I should select the resistance value. Let me fix it as 1000 ohm. At some 1000 ohm. More or less 1000 ohm. Then let me change my input voltage. Then add to table. Change the voltage. Add to table. Change the voltage. Add to table. If I change it here, right? If I vary this now, what happens? The voltage changes. The input voltage changes. Then I will add to my table. I will change the voltage. Then I will add to my table. Finally, I change it to add to the table, right? So I have performed the experiment. I have noted down the readings. Now I can plot the graph. Now what we can do? We can plot the graph. So the graph is available here for our forward bias of diode. So this point is my threshold voltage. This point is my threshold voltage. It is evident from the graph. It is shown in our graph, or it is evident from our graph. This is our threshold voltage. So we can even use this in our EPL lab. This lab, virtual lab, can be used in our EPL lab. We have an experiment for VA characteristics of diode. We can use this experiment. This is for forward bias. We can even perform reverse bias. So for reverse bias, same simple connection. Only thing is, we should make PSN and NSP for reverse bias. And let me check the connection. Right connection. Set the resistance. Let me the resistance once again at some 1000, more or less 1000. Then let me vary the voltage value. Step by step, let me vary the voltage value and add to the table. Vary the voltage value, 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 then I will add to my table. Vary the voltage value, add to the table. Now I have taken the readings. Let me plot it. Let me plot the readings. I didn't. The mistake which I made is I should choose the diode. What diode I'm going to use, I should choose. So now I'll choose my diode. Then once again I will plot this. So we should choose the diode, only then we can plot. Small mistake. Add to table. Add to table. Add to table. I have to add to table. Finally, I can take the last reading. Then I can plot. Now I can plot. And this is my reverse bias graph. So this point is known as avalanche breakdown. This is avalanche breakdown. So in the reverse voltage is maximum. What happens to the diode? The junction breaks. That is known as avalanche breakdown, and immense amount of current flows. The current increases drastically. Diode gets damaged, let us say. So this is my reverse bias, which is performed using my virtual lab. In ECE, this lab is available in ECE stream, which we can readily use for our EPL lab. This experiment can be readily used for our EPL lab. Now, finally, I will discuss the third experiment. Very, very simple experiment, will take not more than 5 minutes. Same here in ECE lab. Let me get into digital electronics lab. Even this can be used, this digital electronics lab can be used for our theory class, that is basic electrical and electronics engineering, which we are handling for first year. This lab can be used even for our theory class demo. I will go to the list of experiment. I will take the counter, up counter, 4-bit up counter. They are given both synchronous up counter as well as asynchronous up counter. That is, asynchronous up counter can also be called as triple counter. Let me go into the experiment. I will directly go to the simulation part. So in the simulation part, I will go for my asynchronous counter. So they are given the circuit already. They have connected everything. Everything is connected already. Now the only thing I am going to do is I am going to switch on. Then I will increment the clock. I will increment the clock. So when I increment the clock, you will see there is a change in my LED. My LED pattern changes. If it glows, it is 1. If it is off, it is 0. So when I apply my 16th clock, all the LEDs will glow, which refers to 111. So 4-bit up counter, asynchronous, that is ripple counter using AK flip-flop. So this is available in my truth table. When I increase my clock, automatically in my truth table, the readings are appended. The readings are appended automatically, or they are taken into account automatically in my truth table when I increase my clock. Say for example, now it is 0. It is automatically updated. Now I can generate my waveform. This is the most important part in the experiment because it will be very hard for us to draw the diagram. So the student, if we use this virtual lab, they can directly view the timing diagram for this 4-bit up counter. So for the first clock, everything is 0. Then for the second clock, only my Q0 is 1. All other flip-flops have an output of 0. Then for my last clock, that is 16th clock, all the flip-flops outputs are 1. So here I can see my timing diagram, which will be easy for our students to understand. So if you discuss this timing diagram for explaining our 4-bit up counter to the students, it will be very helpful. Then after performing the experiment, we can even print this. We can print the experiment. Everything can be printed using the print option. You can print the result. So this is for my asynchronous, that is ripple counter. For my synchronous counter, the procedure remains the same. It is switch on, then increment the clock till 16. Then I can generate my waveform. After generating the waveform, I can print the result. The option is there. I can even print the result. So this is about our virtual lab. That is, there are a lot of experiments which are available. In virtual lab. So whichever applies or whichever is applicable to our subject or to our laboratory, we can use. Right. Now let me get back to the PPT. So what is the objective of our virtual lab? Very simple. Remote access to lab. We have to give remote access to the laboratory. Now, for all the streams, it may be a science stream or engineering stream, their aim is to produce a virtual lab, virtual laboratory. Then who can use this? Staffs can use this, UG students, PG students, even research scholar can use this. One more important point about this virtual lab is that the student can learn on his or her own space and time, on his or her own speed. Space here refers to speed. Some may learn quickly, some may take a little bit more time. So with respect to the student's ability to learn, they can learn the experiments on their own space, on their own time. That is what is said here. So these are some objectives of our virtual lab. Then, what is the faculty-related aspect of our virtual lab? What is the faculty-related aspect of virtual lab? We can use the virtual labs for lecture demos, for our laboratory experiments. First step in using the virtual lab is that we can use the existing experiments. There are hundreds of experiments. We can use all those hundreds of experiments. That is the first step. But after a few months, what we can do? We can develop the experiments. We can enhance the experiment. There may be some points which will be added in the feedback. We can modify the existing experiments. Say, for example, IIT Madras has developed electrical machines laboratory. There, in one particular experiment, open circuit or short circuit of transformer, you would like to add some more feature. What you can do, what we can do as faculty, we can collect some students, we can gather some students, we can modify the lab and we can hand it over to the IIT Madras. They will inject this modification into the virtual labs. That is the second step with respect to faculty. Then the final step is creating our own laboratories. We can create our own laboratories with the help of some faculty and some students. We can create our own laboratory. Say, for example, for 8085 microprocessor, they don't have any laboratory in virtual lab. We can develop. Some faculty can develop the virtual lab for 8085 microprocessor with the help of some students, and we can induct into virtual lab after getting the approval of IIT Delhi, which is the final authority. Final approval authority is IIT Delhi. Through IIT, through NIT Karnataka. We should move through NIT Karnataka. This is about our faculty related aspects. So one important point, learn engineering better. That is, we are going to make our students learn engineering better. That is what is said with the help of VLab. That is faculty related aspect. Now, how about student related aspects? So we will select, the faculty will select certain students who are well versed in the technical subject as well as HTML, then JavaScript or Java. We should collect some students, good students, and we can develop the lab. Now, after developing the lab, we can induct the lab into the VLab. Now, if you are inducting the lab into the VLab, you will get award and certificates. The students will be given awards and certificates, and outperforming students, outstanding students or outperforming students will be taken to NIT Karnataka. Outperforming students will be taken to NIT Karnataka for a special session. They will be given rewards. They will be going through a workshop, so on and so forth. So that is the reward which students will be attaining or obtaining. And one more important point, let us do engineering rather read engineering. So with the help of virtual labs, what we can do engineering rather than reading engineering. That is the specialty of virtual labs. Then what are the broad areas of virtual labs? So as I said earlier, for each and every stream, we have different laboratories. For ECE, we have a different laboratory, set of laboratory. For electrical, we have a different set of laboratory. For mechanical, different set of laboratory. Even for chemical sciences, physical sciences, they have a different set of laboratory. But we should concentrate on electrical engineering, which is obvious. So what are the laboratories which are available in electrical engineering? So these are the important labs which are already available in electrical engineering. I have even given the link here. Press this, you will go to that particular page. If you click on that, you will go to that particular page. I have embedded the link. So the machines lab is available, developed by IIT Roorkee. Three IITs, I think. Two IITs on one state university has developed electrical machines. That is electrical machines 1, 2. A combination of 1 and 2 they have developed. Then there is a lab, a special lab, which is Industrial Automation Lab. Even Industrial Automation Lab is available, which is developed by Pune University. And PLC Lab is available. We faculty can learn PLC with the help of this virtual lab, which is developed by Pune University. So these are the important labs, completed labs In our electrical engineering, the staffs can explore the same for themselves. Then about the labs which are available in other streams, which will be helpful for triple students. The labs which will be helpful for triple students, which are not available in electrical stream, but which are available in some other stream. I have given the link here. If you click this link, it will take you to that particular page. So in electronics and communication stream, what are the labs which we can use? Triple student or triple faculty can use. Digital electronics lab is available, developed by IIT Roorkee. Then basic electronics lab is available, developed by IIT Kharagpur. Then electronics devices and circuits lab is available, developed by IIT Bombay. These are the different labs which are available. Then new lab development. So these are few labs which are complete, which are actually in completed state, but they are not inducted into the virtual lab. Why they are not inducted into the virtual lab so far? Because it should get permission from IIT Delhi. The final authority should approve this. They are yet to get the approval. These labs are yet to get the approval. That is 8051 microcontroller lab, digital applications lab. All these labs are yet to get the approval, final approval from IIT Delhi. That is what is said. But the experiments are available and they are working fine. All the experiments are working fine. So if I click this, it will take me to that particular page. If I click here, that particular page, fine. Then labs under development. This will be very interesting because these labs, they are not approved, but they have developed 1 or 2 experiments. They have developed 1 or 2 experiments. Only 1 or 2 experiments are available in these labs. Say, for example, power electronics and network theory. I am talking only about electrical engineering. So, power electronics lab, it is available in virtual lab, but only 1 experiment is available there. I will show you. So, in power electronics. Available here. Under electrical engineering, power electronics available. If you click on that, I can see. Only 1 experiment is available, that is off-wave uncontrolled rectifier. I can go to the simulation. I can perform the simulation. Right. So that is about labs under development, which can be used by triple faculty and student. The same for my network there. Then one more important aspect in this PPT, that is, I have mapped our current subjects and laboratory. What I have done is that here in this table, I have mapped our current theory paper as well as the lab paper or laboratories with the virtual lab. Here, for example, the subject code is EE18301, which is handled by one of our faculty, is electron devices and circuits. For this electron devices and circuit subject, it's a theory subject. What lab can be used? I have given the link. If I press this link, if I click this link, it will take me there. So I can use this lab. So I have already mapped them. I have already mapped our syllabus with virtual lab. So the corresponding faculty, our corresponding faculty can use this virtual lab for handling the subject, or for even revising the subject. After the CAT exam, if we want to revise the subject, we can readily use these experiments which are available in VLab. So for each and every subject, I have mapped a virtual lab. Say, for example, digital signal processing. I have mapped a subject. I have mapped a lab. If I click on this, it will take me to that particular virtual lab. But some subjects may be missing. Some 1 or 2 subjects may be missing because I cannot map those subjects with the virtual lab. Some subjects cannot be mapped because a particular laboratory is not available for that particular subject in our VLab. So I have not mapped. But it is an opportunity for the faculty to develop the lab. He or she, the sir or ma'am that particular sir or ma'am can take 3 to 6 months With the help of students, they can develop a lab and they can inject the same to virtual lab. If that particular lab is not mapped here, I'm saying. So I have mapped our syllabus with virtual lab. That is known as syllabus mapping with virtual lab. So this is for theory subject. I have even done it for practical subjects or laboratories. So for electrical machines one laboratory, we have a virtual lab readily available. Likewise for electronics or electronics, we have a lab readily available, but unfortunately only one experiment is available over there. Not a bunch of experiment available, only one experiment is available because it is a lab under development. Even for microprocessor and microcontroller, a lab is there, that is 8051 laboratory. There, I have given the link here. And for electrical automation, there is a lab which is readily available. We can make use of the corresponding sir or ma'am who is handling the practical subject can make use of this virtual lab. The link is available here. Then, one important aspect which we should follow is that all the faculties who are attending this program or this session should take one experiment for the subject which they are handling. Say, for example, machines one. The subject which is handled by sir or ma'am can handle this machines one. What they can do, they can go to this laboratory, they can collect one experiment out of it, and they can do a demo session, record it, and send it to me. That should be done. That is the agenda which is given by PALS. There is no other go. We have to follow the agenda. What they have said is that finally, for submitting the report on this session, they are asking how many faculties have submitted the experiment. How many faculties have given the demo for a particular experiment. I will repeat the same. I will repeat this. Say, for example, digital signal processing is handled by me. So what I should do, I should go to this virtual lab. I should take, there may be 10 experiments. Out of 10 experiments, I will take one experiment. I will go through the experiment. I will explain only the simulation part. I will explain only the simulation part available over there. How to do the connection, how to perform the experiment, how to use the result of the experiment. All those things should be explained and it should be recorded and sent back. And send back to me. You should send back to me. Sir or madam should send back to me. And I will send it to, I will send this to Dean Education. He will have a record of all this. Only then we can submit the report to the virtual lab committee. Okay. Then this is about faculty. This is for faculty, session for faculty. Then E-Lab training for students. Now, as we faculty are trained in this V-Lab, now what we should do for our student, what we can take to our students. So, we faculty should train our students. Say, for example, few faculties are handling laboratory, they can take a particular experiment in their laboratory and explain the same to student. They can give a demo about this particular experiment which is available in virtual lab to the student and record it and send it back to me. I will send it to Dean Education. That is what is it here. Colleges can conduct training for students for understanding and using V-Labs on the same lines. Training for students to be conducted separately from training of faculty. So this is the agenda which is passed to me by V-Lab committee. Likewise, even this agenda for faculty is passed to me by V-Lab committee. So what is the future scope? So what is the future scope for our faculty and for our students? So faculty can form groups. We can take some students, select some students, we can train them, we can develop new labs. And these new labs, after the approval of IIT Delhi, can be inducted into V-Lab. So we will get reward and award. We will get reward or award and certificates from this V-Lab committee, that is MHRD. We may even get an approval or award from MHRD, which is a portfolio under Government of India. So this is all about our V-Lab. So one assignment which is pending is that we should train our students and each and every faculty who are handling subjects should take one particular experiment, do a demo, record it, and send it back to me. That is the only thing which is left out. We will discuss about all these. If you have any doubt, you can discuss about this to me offline. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
If you have any doubt, you can ask me, ma'am, sir or madam.
Sir, actually, we have done some recording for our electronics lab. Can we give the same, sir?
Madam, purila madam, kekla madam. Sorry. I will stop the recording, madam. I will stop recording. You can ask a question.